Hi guys, Wolf here. I have my deck profile for you. Can you guess what it is yet? It's Dark Irregulars, obviously, because that's the match you saw. So it's Greedy Hand, he's the starter. Probably the best starter we've got at the moment. Some people would like to use Enigmatic Assassin. I get why, this isn't darkness based, so it doesn't bother me. Yes, so grade 0s we have 4 Dark Knight of Nightmare Land. You run this in every variant of Dark Regulars, really. It's just the best crit trigger the deck has to offer. I've got another 3 crits. I'm not pro enough yet, because I've only got 2 of 1. I would like to get another different one, because that would make me pro. 3 stands for Monochrome's skill, which is GB1, put into the top of your deck. Shuffle your deck, soul charge 1, then if the number of cards in your soul is 6 or more, you choose a damage and unflip it, and if it's 10 or more, you draw a card. I'm thinking about putting this down to 2 for a third Hysteric Shirley, which is the draw trigger, which you run 2 of. It's just a into soul charge 1, so this is a free soul charge 2, basically. And with this deck, actually having cards in hand is not a bad thing, which I'll get to with the grade 3 when I get to it. Finally, for heal triggers, because, you know, G-Guardians. Right, next grade 1. Most important grade 1 in the deck. Dimension Creeper. If in Soul, Soul Blast itself. Soul Charge 2. Fantastic card. You can just leave it in Soul and use it whenever you need to. Next, I've got 3 Perfect Guards. I'm thinking about dropping down to 2 so I can run a second Tyrwit, which is the Quintet Wall, which is the Bladewing specific Quintet Wall. Just, you know, Counterblast 1, call 5 from top of deck to Guardian Circle. It's also got a thing where if you have a Bladewing Vanguard, you can choose any number of grade 3 or greater units called by the skill and put them into the soul. Which is really good for one of the ones coming on, but also with the grade 3, it's viable because it gives you extra boost, which I'll get to in a second. You have 3 Doreen the Thrusters, only 3 because you don't need 4. This deck recycles soul a lot, so if you soul charge 1, it doesn't matter, it ends up out of the soul. Any more, and you just start clogging in your hands, you only need 3. You only really need 2. I have the 3 just so I can draw into it quicker. Then we have 3 Succubus of Pure Love, which is the Stride Enabler. I don't need 4. As I said, this deck recycles, so I can get a hold of them simple. Right, next we have 4 Bladewing Sykes. This is the most important grade 2. It's basically Dimension Creeper. So if you have a Bladewing Vanguard and it's in Soul, you can put it into your drop zone and Soul Charge 2. Also, if you have a Bladewing Vanguard and it's placed on Rear Circle, you can Soul Charge 1. So even if you don't get to soul charge it, placing it on rear guard, you still get a bonus. Okay, next we have the second most important one, which is Stoppel Vampire. This thing is Dark Irregular Silent Tom. So GB1 Darkness. Darkness is their keyword. If you don't know, it activates when a card is put into the soul. It doesn't have to be soul charged, it's put into the soul that turn. So you can soul charge 1 due to a ride, then play him. Darkness is still activated, which is fantastic. But basically, when it attacks a Vanguard, if the number of cards in your soul is 6 or more, it gains plus 5k, so it becomes a 14k swing on its own, which is fantastic. And then if the number of cards in your soul is 15 or more, until the end of battle, your opponent cannot call grade 0 cards to Guardian Circle. Yes, G-Guards, yes, Intercept, grade 1s, grade 2s, it's fine, but that still adds on hit pressure. Also, swinging for a 14-hit column on its own is great. Just, numbers, but it still hits, which is what matters. The next grade 2 I have 3 Emblem Master. A lot of people go with Flying Librarian over Emblem Master. The only reason I don't is I haven't got any yet. I'm planning to get some just to try it out, give it a bit of a whirl, see how it goes. But Emblem Master is on hit, Soul Charge, Counterblast 1, Soul Charge 3. Adds a very lot of on hit pressure. If you get one off early game, it really helps the deck out. And now we'll go on to grade 3s. This is the most important grade 3 of the deck, which is Blade, Wings, Sullivan. Skill, if number of cards in your soul is 15 or more, this unit gets the skill that, whilst on Vanguard, all of your Guardians get plus 10k shield. So heal triggers become 20k, draw triggers become 15, viable. Your grade 3s get a 10k shield, so if you need to, you can call grade 3s. This is why the quintet is viable, because playing the quintet gives you a 10k shield before you call anything from the top of your deck. And then anything you can call, just bonuses. I've had a quintet all up to like 110k versus a Unite, versus Lukey with his Gurgrit deck he was running. Calcifer, sorry, with his Gurgrit deck he was running. Which guarded, and he barely guarded it. Then he also gets the skill that at the end of the battle that this unit was attacked, you Soul Blast 2. So you do lower your soul, because it has to be, it's 15 or more, so you want to try and soul charge up to about 20. 21 is the nicest number. And then you Soul Blast only when it's attacked though. So if your opponent attacks a rear guard, your Guardian still gets plus 10k, but you don't have to Soul Blast. Fantastic. And he's also got the skill that when it's placed on Vanguard, choose one of your rear guards, search your deck for up to 3 copies of it, and put them into your soul. Then shuffle your deck. I run 2 Bladewing Reiji. Considering taking him out, down to 1. You need 1 for the next card. He is just the old Bladewing Reiji, 10k, which is annoying. When you got a 15 in Soul, he gets plus 2 crit, and when he's placed on Vanguard, choose a Dark Irregular rear guard, search for 3 cards of the same name, put them into your Soul, shuffle your deck. So Sullivan got his skill from him. Then here's the other grade 3 run, which is Wings of Recurrence Bladewing Reiji, which is basically Reiji on crack. It's 11k rather than 10, great. Really shiny SP one. I just realised how bad that is. Let's do that. Basically, he's got when he attacks a Vanguard, you can Soul Blast 50. Oh, and you have a card named Reiji in your soul. That's what you need him for. You can Soul Blast 15. He gets plus 15k, so he boosts himself to 26. So he's basically a stride, and he gets plus 2 crit. Until end of battle, which works in great with his second skill, which is whilst in Soul, counterblast 1, choose 3 cards from your hand and discard them, and at the end of the battle where your grade 3, only grade 3, not grade 3 or greater, grade 3 Vanguard didn't hit your opponent. Is it opponent's Vanguard or? Oh no, attacks. And if the attack did not hit, you can counterblast 1, choose 3, discard, and you can ride this from your soul at stand. So you swing with Sullivan, they guard, you counterblast 1, discard 3, ride him at stand, soul blast 15, swing for 26k and a crit, or boosted by 7k to 33, obviously. Great little thing. But I am thinking about going down to 1 because I see him too often. I don't want to see him that often. Right, so on to G-Zone. 3 Egrat Bat Malat. Fantastic stride unit. The Dark Irregulars first one. It's very simple. When played, you soul charge 2. If you do, you get plus 5k. So she pays for Sullivan's cost. Soul Blast 2. So you have him on the field, 15 in soul, you call her, you soul charge 2, she goes up to 20k, he gets a 10k, so she goes to 30k guard, and then you soul blast and you're still on whatever you were on before, which is fantabidasic. Then we have 2 Nighttime Gentlemen Saint Germain. This is the reason I don't run Dismal or anything in this deck. Basically, if the number of cards in your soul is 10 or more, it gets plus 10k, so it goes to 25k, 35 with Sullivan. And if the number of cards in your soul is 15 or k, you can select any number of units in Vanguard, Rearguard, or G-Zone, and they gain resist. Just resist, because So, D-Robo, you don't need Dismal. It's Dismal but better. Yes. Then I have, for actual grade 4s, 1 Madu. This is just in case I have to ride Ragey. Simple. Usually it's if I have to ride Ragey and I've healed a grade 3 from the damage. I drop a stride enabler to drop zone, ride this, get the grade 3 back. Next turn, ride into something useful. Then I have a Blizzard. I kind of like Blizzard. I very rarely use it, but when I do, it usually ends up in PG or game. Actually, more like the game, because it's usually very late game. This deck has a lot of survivability. It can last. Yeah, everyone should know Blizzard. Kind of lost 1 persona. Well, flip a G zone, gets plus 5k for each face up. It's useful now. We've got 16. It gets really big numbers. Maju, by the way, is just if it's placed on a 10k grade 3, you can add a grade 3 from your drop zone to your hand. I have 1 rebellious, retainer, isn't it? Yeah, fresh blood. Frederick. I have a Frederick. Basically, you put a card from your hand to your soul. This gets plus 1,000 for each card in soul, and if the increase is 10k or more, the entire of your front row gets plus 5. It's useful, mainly used to get Dimension Creepers and Psyches into soul, or occasionally a Wings of Recurrence, or an actual Blade Wing Ragey if they're in hand and I don't need to stride straight away, and I don't have one into soul. It's just there to help stop hands be annoying. 2 Mask of Demonic Frenzy, Irregulars. This is generally my first turn stride. It's either that or Frederick, but generally it's Irregulars. I find I use him a little bit more just because. He's a darkness skill, so you have to have had a card go into your soul for him to effect his work. When it attacks a Vanguard, you can soul charge 2. Straight away, fantastic. Just on attack, soul charge 2. Then number of cards in your soul is 6 or more, which is generally why I'm doing first. When his attack hits, your opponent retires a rearguard of their choice, and if the number of cards in your soul is 15 or more, it gets plus 1,000 for each card in soul. Generally, don't use that one. I have a second one just in case, because swinging for 26, 36, 42 plus booster is fantastic, but I very rarely use the second one. Very, very rarely use the second one. Next, 2 Giles de Ray. It's a win condition, essentially. If you don't know what Giles is, you obviously haven't played very many Dark regular decks. He's a staple, really, unfortunately. It's a shame because he's really expensive. Well, he's more expensive. Basically, you persona flip, and then if the number of cards in your soul is 10 or more, it gets plus 10k. Plus 10k. So he sings for 36 on his own. Then if the number of cards in your soul is 15 or more, he gets the skill that when it attacks a Vanguard, when it attacks a Vanguard, until the end of the battle, your opponent can't call any grade 0s? No, grade 1s. No, grade 1s, because Doppel does 0s, of course. And then if the number of cards in your soul, in your G zone face up is 2 or more, he gets plus 1 crit. With the increased G zone size, that happens really quickly. I'm trying to get hold of 2 more. Well, I've got 1 more. I'm trying to get hold of a 4th one because double Giles would be fantastic. Next is the main grade 4 for the deck, which is Wings of Annihilation, Bladewing T-Bold. This card is ridiculous. When it's placed on Vanguard, if you have a heart card with Bladewing in its card name, you just take your drop zone and shuffle it into your deck. Eugenesis, as I like to call it. Then you shuffle your deck. Then if the amount of cards in your soul is 15 or more, until the end of the turn, this unit gets, all your front row gets plus 10k, or all your front row rear guards. All your rear guards get plus 10k. So you can call, retire, whatever. They will still get plus 10k. And then if your soul is not 15 or more, you soul charge 5. So it's great when your opponent's done a lot of attacks, gets you down to 13, 14, and you go shuffle drop zone, shuffle, oh look, soul charge 5, back to 18. That suits you for 2 attacks. You get another soul charge off from a Decreeper in soul or a Sykes in soul. I put you up to 19. That gives you 3. Unless you're fighting a deck with stands or multiple standing, or multiple skills to restand, that's more than enough. I like to go for 2021 just so that if I've got the soul power in hand, I can still use this skill. Yeah, so that's Blade Wings. Yeah, nice, fun, but a relatively cheap deck. Yeah, so I hope you liked. We'll see you in another video.